Hey, welcome to another episode of Two Big Guys on Cars. I'm Denver Wright.
And I'm Thomas Hill.
And we are embarking on yet another episode, and we have great things for you in this one, so stick around. Plus, somewhere during the show, we're going to let you in on our future plans that we have coming up, including your chance to win stuff. By the way, you see our new shirts, right? Ta-da! Hey, yeah, in case you don't know who I am, it's right there. And yeah, his name is over there. Yeah.
It's time. WizPro Imagineering proudly presents Two Big Guys on Cars. Now, here are your hosts, Thomas Hill and Denver Wright. What's new in the world of cars? You're about to find out. This is Car News on Two Big Guys on Cars.
If there's one area that we can really sink our teeth into, it would be that of performance trucks. It's kind of exciting to see that the market has been picking back up with these trucks in recent years. With the likes of the SVT Raptor and Ram Rebel, we get to see how major manufacturers see the market segment. Naturally, they have to be a bit conservative to sell trucks. Seeing them spread their wings a bit can be refreshing though. This time, we take a look at what appears to be a dealer package in the 2019 Shelby Super Snake F-150. From what we understand, between 100 and 150 of these trucks will be made. Let's just say that this truck might be built off of a crew cab, but it is a substantial step up from any other F-50 on the market except for the Raptor. In order to make this thing go, it will be making 755 horsepower. That will be done through a factory 5.0L engine. That will be done through a factory 5-liter engine and accompanied by a 2.9-liter Whipple supercharger. That's not where the fun stops, though. Instead, the truck includes an entire appearance package to bring it all together as well. This means that it has an aggressive styling from nose to tail. Included in this is an aggressive front end that can't help but remind us of the GT500. From there, we get things like racing stripes, a custom door, and even custom wheels.
Speaking of Ford, we reported a couple of weeks ago that the Blue Oval was about to premiere an all-new electric SUV, and indeed, they did just that. The past and the future collide with an all-new 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is inspired by the automaker's unmistakable pony car and powered exclusively by electricity. Although it shares the name and styling cues with the Mustang, this all-electric crossover otherwise is completely unrelated. With two available battery sizes and either rear or all-wheel drive, Ford says that the Mach-E can provide up to 300 miles of driving range. Its 5-passenger cabin is filled to the max with contemporary features and cutting-edge infotainment options as well, and some unique cargo and storage options. While purists call an all-electric Mustang crossover sacrilegious, Ford expects the name and the design adaptation to increase interest and to help sell copies when the 2021 Mach-E goes on sale in late 2020.
The whole $80 a year charge for a thing other automakers don't charge for is over. After charging a subscription fee for 2019 and newer models, BMW is making Apple CarPlay standard without any additional cost on all cars equipped with navigation.
Yay! Fine time. It's about time, BMW, because I've got an iPhone.
BMW received negative feedback and wanted to be more considerate to its tech-obsessed customers. They already got an extra perk. It is one of the few automakers to offer wireless CarPlay, although Android Auto is still not available. BMW doesn't give out freebies too often, but after bad press and scores of unhappy customers, the automaker is killing all fees for Apple CarPlay. It's effective right now.
Yes! It's about time. I love BMWs and I love my Apple products, including the iPhone. And what's really cool about that story that you just gave us is the fact that all cars up until now, you've had to plug in the cable in order to have your Apple CarPlay on the infotainment screen.
Okay.
But they're the first automakers to make it to where you don't have to plug in anything. The car will read your Apple CarPlay and put it on the navigation screen without wires. And that's great.
Apple.
Yes. But you got an Android, so I don't know why you happy. Anyway, moving on. Now, this might be the perfect time to get your hands on the front-engined Corvette. Yeah, that's the C7. While buyers are eagerly waiting to take delivery of the new mid-engine 2020 Corvette C8, thousands of 2019 Corvettes are still on the lot at all of the Chevrolet dealerships across the country. And there might be, no, there will definitely be some deep discounts on the horizon. Chevrolet is advertising a nationwide deal for nearly $12,000 off the MSRP of a Corvette Z06. That's the C7, of course. Now, when looking at the 2019 Corvette inventory on Chevrolet's website, many Stingrays, Grand Sports, Z06s, and even the ZR1 were found with deep discounts ranging from $8,000 all the way up to $16,000 off of MSRP. Now, these discounts include dealer markdowns, Chevrolet corporate cash allowance incentives, and a current Chevrolet employee discounts for everyone program. Now, that deal lasts until January 2nd, 2020, which is not that far away. As it always is with car dealerships, it's important to keep in mind that your mileage may vary when you walk in the door. And speaking of the C8 Corvette, Hennessy Performance Engineering is now taking orders for the upgraded C8 Corvette. That's right, the C8. I just told you they're still trying to sell the C7s. But the C8 Corvette is being offered by Hennessy. Now, the Texas Tuner is pumping up the horsepower to up to 1,200. And they're getting that out of the current LT2, the 6.2 liter V8, which is another version of the LT1 that's in like the Two Big Guys on Cars Camaro. Yeah. That's why they're easily able to do this, because they're already familiar with the engine. And the online interest forms that you would go to on their website, customers can choose between a budget of $5,000 and more than $35,000.
Oh. $5,000, $35,000.
Yes, sir. On top of the cost of the C8, of course.
That's what I thought. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. But you get a lot. Yeah. How do I know that? Because Chevrolet C8 Corvette is just about to hit the dealerships, and at launch, the engine only is available in a naturally aspirated LT2 6.2 liter V8. Now, coming soon after that, but we don't know how soon, will be the ZR1 variant, and it will likely use a whole different engine, like a twin turbocharged version of the flat plane crank engine that can be expected to put out well over 800 horsepower. But Corvette fanatics who can't be patient for the twin turbo ZR1 can now turn to the Texas tuning house Hennessy and place their order for a twin turbo C8 Corvette with up to 1,200 horsepower. Now, how much horsepower would you like to have is one of the questions on the form once you go to their website to just express your interest in having Hennessy do your C8 Corvette. You can have up to 1,200 horsepower, and the twin turbo system will be fitted with forged aluminum pistons with a 10-to-1 compression ratio, forged steel connecting rods, and an upgraded fortified factory dual clutch transmission.
And lastly, four-cylinder Stingers now look a lot more like the V6 GT models. The 2020 Kia Stinger gets a revised trim level structure with 2-liter four-cylinder model now coming in a single trim level called the GT line. The GT line models look similar to the V6 powered GT, but with different wheels, different front and rear bumpers, and a different grille. The 2020 Stinger is just $100 more than last year's base Stinger and starts at $34,085 and ranges up to $53,495 for a fully loaded GT all-wheel drive model. All 2020 Stinger models add a wireless charging pad for your smartphone and come with a new Stinger badge on the rear hatch that replaces the previous Kia logo. The Stinger GT was a few quirks short of greatness.
And that's car news for this week. We'll be right back with some great stuff for you, including your chance to win. Be right back.
So you finally bought that dream car of yours, but you don't have any real way of testing the limits of this thing. You better not do it on the street or even on the interstate. The North Carolina Center for Automotive Research, better known as NC Car, is located in Garysburg, North Carolina, just outside of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina.
Discover why NC Car is one of the premier automotive facilities in the Southeast.
On their 620-acre site, NC Car is home to a 2-mile bi-directional road course,
2-acre vehicle dynamics area,
and so much more.
It's available for you, the general public car guy or girl, to rent.
Bring your car to the track for a private session just for you and your buds to rent the whole place, or
rent it for an event for your entire organization.
The cost is way more reasonable than you may think, too.
And if you go through our website to book it, you'll get an even better deal.
Call our friend Sam at 252-308-2825.
That's 252-308-2825.
NC Car is the home track for two big guys on cars.
We've been telling you since we started the show about the two big guys on cars Camaro. Well, it's changed a little bit. You may have seen it on the website, you may have seen it on our social media, but take a look at this. We told you it was gonna be something special, and the journey has started. We want you to be a part of that journey. How, you may say? Well, we plan on doing a lot of different things to the Two Big Guys on Cars Camaro. We're going to upgrade its performance, upgrade its looks, change it up a lot, and we want you to give us your opinion on what we should do from week to week. So every single week on the show, you can go to our website, twobigguys.com. That's the number 2, bigguys.com. And you can cast your vote on which wheels we're going to get, on if we get a Whipple supercharger or an Edelbrock brakes, because we're going to improve the brakes, because what we want it to be is not this monster muscle thing, but we definitely want it to be a high performance car that's still very streetable. And again, we want you to help us. Now, here's the part 2 where you can win stuff. Anytime you see the Two Big Guys on Cars Camaro in the streets, just wave us down, pull us over, and we'll give you a free t-shirt. One of our Two Big Guys on Cars white t-shirts like this one. You've seen us wear them, and now you can buy them on our website, but you can also get one for free. The Two Big Guys on Cars Camaro journey has begun, and you are a part of it. Thank you so much. It's just our way of saying thanks to you, our viewers, without whom we would be nothing.
Two Big Guys on Cars needs your support. I'm talking to you, Mr. Businessman, businesswoman. We need your support. In order for Two Big Guys to have the kind of impact that we want it to have for you, for your communities, and for the car community, help us out. Now, it's very easy. All you need to do is just give me a call. And of course, you probably see the number right above the call. You know how it is. Or you can call this guy right here, the Wizard. Yeah.
Imagine your business being advertised on television. You may have never thought of advertising on television before. You may have thought that advertising on TV is too expensive. Well, this is your opportunity to get in. Help us out by sponsoring us. We'll help you out by giving you some great production as well as great exposure. We have thousands of people who view our shows every single week on television, and then they also view it on our YouTube channel, on our social media. So this is an opportunity for you to be a part of something that is growing, something that is fun, and something that will get the word out about you, your business, your service, your event.
Undersell and over-deliver.
That's what we do. Thank you so much again from Two Big Guys on Cars.
I'm Thomas Hill from Two Big Guys on Cars, and I have a special message I want to share with you from Scott and Dave Lloyd.
If you'd like to join us at Racing for ALS on track, be there at Virginia International Raceway on June 8th, 2020. We're having an open track advanced level driver HPDE along with parade laps for anyone in their street cars who would like to join us. We're going to have fast cars, NASCAR drivers on site, and a wonderful time. All of the proceeds go to ALS TDI, a 501c3, and you'd be donating to an extraordinary cause while having an excellent day at the track. For more information, join us on Facebook or Instagram at Racing for ALS. That's Racing FORALS. Hope to see you there.
Two Big Guys on Cars will be there, and so should you.
I've known Denver and Thomas for a long time, and I've always known them to be very, very focused and very creative, very unique individuals. So when I got the chance to work with them on this project, on Two Big Guys on Cars, I said, there's no way I'm letting that go. There's no way I'm letting that pass. These guys have done so much with music and entertainment and reaching out to people on all levels, things you'll never know about in so many genres, from rock to country, and now television. These guys are the real deal. Thomas has always been somebody I looked up to just for the way he carries himself and the way he treats people. So I know he's a legit guy and he's not gonna just open up about a project and halfway do it. I know we're in it for the long haul and we're gonna do something quality. Denver's awesome. I worked with Denver in radio for a long time. They don't call him the Wiz for nothing. This guy, and he's funny, he's sharp, so creative. You've seen the show. Keep watching.
When you hear certain music, it can remind you of a particular place and time, particular smells, feels, tastes. It can all take you back to remind you of certain places you've been, persons you were with, and things that you may have been doing. But when you see or even hear the name Aston Martin, you think of only one other name.
My name is Bond, James Bond.
Bond, James Bond.
Yes, my name is Bond, James Bond.
Bond, James Bond.
The name's Bond, James Bond.
Bond, James Bond.
For more than a quarter of a century, James Bond has been known to drive only one car, when in fact, of the 25 Bond films, The Spy with a License to Kill has only driven an Aston in just over half of those movies. There's been something about the association between this distinguished gentleman's racer and Commander Bond that defines coolness. That particular car with its pop-out gun barrels behind the front indicators, the bulletproof shield behind the rear window, and the three-way revolving number plate was sold to a car collector in 2010 for $4.6 million. Then in Thunderball, The DB5 appears in the pre-credits with a previously unmentioned rear-facing water cannon as it fades into the credit sequence. 1969 brought us the only Bond film featuring George Lazenby in the lead role. In the movie, On Her Majesty's Secret Service was the wedding car for James and Tracy. The Living Daylights premiered with a V8 Vantage Volante, complete with extended side outriggers, spike-producing tires, laser missiles, tire slashers, and more. The trusted DB5 made its return in GoldenEye, with the film's opening sequence racing a Ferrari, followed by a small appearance in Tomorrow Never Dies, another one in The World Is Not Enough. Then the real action returned to the Bond party with the Aston V12 Vanquish, with rockets, machine guns, target-seeking shotguns, adaptive camouflage, and a surprise improvisation move when the car had been flipped onto its roof and Bond used the car's ejector seat mechanism to right the tank and die another day. In a very controversial move, 2006 brought us a blonde-haired, blue-eyed James Bond, making his debut as Daniel Craig took over the lead role in the first Ian Fleming's Bond novel, Casino Royale. This film returns to the nitty-gritty roots of Bond's first movies as the Aston Martin DB5 and DBS V12 is featured. A slightly darker colored DBS V12 is nearly destroyed in the next Daniel Craig film, Quantum of Solace. The DB5 returns again in Skyfall, using machine guns for the first time since 1964's Goldfinger, and is again destroyed in the climactic battle scene. Then my personal favorite Aston, the amazingly beautiful DB10 in Bond's 24th film, Spectre, along with a rebuilt DB5. The DB10 is the only Aston made just for the movie and never offered for sale to the public. 8 of them were delivered to the movie production, knowing that many of them would be destroyed during the production of the film. At the start of World War I, Lionel Martin and Robert Branford founded a car company for the sole purpose of racing. The name of the fledgling upstart came from Lionel's last name and a stretch of road in England called Aston Hill Climb. Production briefly halted after the First World War, but continued producing cars specifically for the racetrack, focusing on speed rather than luxury. Not making cars for the general public proved to be a strain on finances, and the company changed hands several times up until World War II. In 1947, a tractor manufacturer named David Brown purchased the company, which is why so many models took on his initials, DB. The new and improved company began to achieve worldwide recognition as the DB5 appeared in Goldfinger, and that added to the cool factor of the world's coolest spy. Difficult times again hit, and it caught up with the company when Brown departed the company in 1970. In the 80s, there were no better times either. Even with a model called the Aston Martin Nimrod produced a dismal performance at the racetrack. But the company was saved again in 1987 when the Ford Motor Company bought 75% of the company, and in 1994, buying the remaining 25%. This became pretty apparent as we started seeing obvious Ford parts, including cheap-looking plastic window switches and other interior items show up in their cars. In March of 2007, Ford sold the company of Aston Martin to a small group of devotees. Thankfully for sports car enthusiasts, the Aston Martin nameplate simply refused to die. And what a quality automobile Aston has been. For the 2006 James Bond film Casino Royale, stunt driver Adam Curley and stunt coordinator Gary Powell managed to roll Bond's specifically produced Aston Martin, the DBS, a record 7 times on film. The feat wasn't accomplished by simply driving 80 miles an hour down a road and turning the steering wheel sharply. No, the DBS was designed so well that the car initially would not roll over. Even after Powell installed a 2-foot ramp to get Curly into the air, the stunt technicians eventually settled on placing a special cannon behind the passenger seat of the Aston Martin. At just the right moment, Curly pressed a button which released a rush of air, pushing the cylinder into the road and forcing the car to turn over. The current Aston Martin factory is a bustle of activity and runs at a steady pace, but if you've been to an American car company in their factory, and then Aston, you'd see a huge difference. In a mass-produced car manufacturing facility, a car is started and assembled every few seconds. At Aston Martin, a new car, or now SUV, begins its life every 26 minutes. The pace is slower but steady. Each part of the production is meticulously scrutinized as it goes through its 200-hour build process. Its flagship vehicle, the DB11, with a more efficient V8 engine option, which is made by Daimler's AMG Group and modified by Aston engineers, started the next 100 years of Aston Martin. The next chapter in the Bond saga is the 25th 007 film, No Time to Die. And it reunites Daniel Craig and the DB10 for another go in what the rumor mill says is Craig's last performance as our favorite martini-drinking spy. James Bond and his Aston Martin were truly a match made in heaven. The perfect gadget for the world's greatest super spy. The success of the films and the image that became associated with Aston Martin boosted the car's popularity, and today, owning an Aston Martin is a dream for many, including all of us here at Two Big Guys on Cars. The only way I can think of to close out this cover story is to say, Aston Martin, James Bond, continue to live and let drive. What? Oh, you zoomed out. Dang. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Two Big Guys on Cars. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to bringing you more good car stuff next time.
Well, I'm just mad because I don't understand why I couldn't do none of the James Bond stuff. I mean, come on, man. How did I get left out of that?
Well, you could have been our job. Remember him, right?
I don't think he got a little toasted at the end.
Yeah,
so
I believe he did.
I don't think I'll be interested in playing that role.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This time, until next time, on
Two Big Guys on Cars.